Good morning and welcome back to the Sunday morning 7 a.m. club. I'm Faye Chappell, and today we're talking about something that manages to break even the strongest of us. It's the holiday boundary blueprint. This is week 2 of our 6-week series. Yeah, we're going there. Because listen, the holidays are supposed to be twinkly lights and cozy sweaters, but somehow they turn into emotional landmines a lot of the time, right? Guilt trips that are wrapped in tinsel or overstimulation or family dynamics that you thought you healed from. And then maybe that one person who thinks that no is kind of a debate topic, right? It is strange sometimes the holidays. It's not exactly the Hallmark movie that we're hoping for. Sometimes it's a little challenging. So this week, where the people pleasers relapse, that's where we are going to go, right? Because where the strong ones get tired, that's where we're going to go. And really where a whole lot of us forget our boundaries in the name of holiday cheer, yep, that's where we're going. But you are not repeating that cycle this year because you are on your 6-week journey to make next year your best year ever. So for the next little while, we're going to understand why boundaries really feel 1,000 times harder with family, correct? Yes. We're going to name that guilt pattern that really controls your decisions. We're going to journal, of course, and we're going to meditate. We're going to practice some breath work. We're going to move a little gently, and then we're going to just learn a little bit of a wellness tip to really help with your overstimulation. Because let's face it, this season's all about overstimulation. So this is your blueprint for a peaceful season, even if the group chat is chaos and people are going a little nuts. So let's begin. How we start our Sunday sets the tone for our entire week. So welcome to the Sunday Morning Club, the show dedicated to intentional living and personal growth. I'm Faye Chappell, and on behalf of all of us here at Elevated Living, I invite you to take this time for yourself to find your center and fill up your cup. I'm so glad you're here. Why do you think holiday boundaries feel so hard? So let's be real. Setting boundaries with coworkers, pretty manageable, right? Setting boundaries with friends, a little bit easier. But setting boundaries with families, suddenly you're 9 years old again and you're holding a plate of trauma appetizers because you're like, oh no, here we go again. So why is that? Well, a lot of the reason is because old roles get reactivated, right? So you walk into your childhood home and boom, you're cast into that old role. Might be the fixer, the quiet one, the strong one, the easy one, right? I'm guilty of it. You know, I always have some of my kids, oh, that's the creative one. That's the easy one, right? This is the one that, talks a lot or takes a lot more work. I do that too, and everyone does. So what we're trying to recognize is that those old roles do get reactivated. So we have to be careful with that, right? We also have to be careful because emotional intensity skyrockets. More people, more expectations, plus past dynamics, well, that equals overstimulation, right? Because sometimes we know going into it, we're like, oh no, here goes, Uncle Joe is going to do this, or I'm going to be expected to do this. And that's, overstimulation because we're getting nervous before we even get there, right? And guilt gets weaponized, right? Because, people will say to you, but it's the holidays, right? Or you never stay long, right? Or are you sure you can't help us do this, right? Or how about that we always do it this way? I love that, right? This is our tradition. We always do it this way. And maybe it's not the right way to do things anymore. But I'm not telling you not to. What I'm telling you is you need to start understanding all of this is comes up, it rears ugly head, right? Your nervous system confuses kind of discomfort with danger, right? So your whole body, it reacts as if you're unsafe, even when you're just annoyed, right? Or overstimulated, but your body's like, oh, I don't like this. Let's get out of here, right? Because you've been taught that saying yes equals love, right? And saying no equals betrayal. And those boundaries, those aren't a rejection. They are a form of love for yourself and for your relationship. So today we want to rewrite how you navigate the season, knowing all of this we just talked about. There's a great quote that's, boundaries are the distance at which I can love you and myself at the same time, right? I can love you and myself at the same time. Let's read that again. Boundaries are not punishment. Boundaries are preservation, right? It's helping you make it through whatever you're going through. So let's grab your journals. And I want you to do a little bit about your holiday truth. So I want you to open your journals. And this is the part where we get radically honest, okay? Because honesty is where boundaries begin. So I want you to write, I'm giving you 5 prompts today. You can stop if you're doing the recording and answer them, or you can write them down and answer them all later. But I want to make sure that you really think about them. So number 1, what am I dreading this holiday season and why? Think about it. What am I dreading this holiday season and why? Everybody has something. Am I dreading seeing that family member I had a fight with? Am I dreading opening presents because I really don't believe in it? Am I dreading all the food because I've been eating healthier and now everyone's going to guilt me into eating stuff I don't want to? What is it that you're dreading this holiday season? Number 2, where did I abandon myself last year? Oh, right? So you went in saying you're going to stick to your guns this Christmas holiday season and you abandoned yourself, right? You said, I can't. I just have to do what they want. Where was that? Number 3, what do I actually want the holidays to feel like? A really interesting one. How many of you like Christmas movies? I love Christmas movies, even though they're all the same, right? But I watch them. I can't wait. It started last week, I think, and I've already watched 3. Love Christmas movies. They always look so happy and glittery and shiny. Do I want all my holidays to feel like that? Sometimes. When I see something, I do want it to. But what is it that you actually want the holidays to feel like? Not what you think it's going to be. What do you want? And then number 4, what situations drain me the most over that season, over those visits? What situations drain you the most? Is it the driving from place to place? Is it hosting? Is it cooking? Is it buying presents? What is it that drains you the most? And then finally, what am I afraid will happen if I actually say no? You know, when I was all the way, when I, moved and had my own family, every Christmas, I decided Christmas Eve was mine. That was my holiday. And so my family would do Christmas Eve on our own. And it's very, very chill. So it's my kids and that's it. And we order Chinese food and it's so chill. And we open presents and it's fun and we play games and no forced fun because I'm not into that. And then the next day on Sunday, we would go visit my mom where she had all the family over, which was, an hour away. And then the following day, we'd go to another relative's in Canada, it's called Boxing Day on the 26th. Why did I always do it? Even then, sometimes I was exhausted or tired or something. What was I afraid of that would happen if I said no? An interesting question, right? So take your time because this is your truth telling space. These 5 questions will completely change how you act this holiday season. So I want you to take your time, answer those questions so that they are in front of you so that you can actually understand. Like, for example, the one, number 4, which was what situations drain me the most. For me, I can only take a lot of people for this much time. I am not good surrounded by 20, 30 people. So the draining one for me was when, even though it was great to see everyone, I couldn't do it extended. So a couple of hours, great. If you leave me in a room with, 30 people for 2, 3, 4 hours, then I start getting exhausted. So for some people, it's the reverse. Some people have more energy the more people they're around. So I just want you to answer those questions truthfully, okay? Now I want you to, after you answer those, I want you to hold your center. So we're going to close our eyes and do a little bit of meditation. Very simple. I just want you to close your eyes, put your pen down, close your eyes. You can answer those questions later. I want you to imagine yourself in the middle of a circle of light. It's warm and it's golden and it's calm. It's surrounding you, okay? And around you in the distance, there are people and places and obligations and expectations for the holidays, right? And some are loud and some are chaotic and some are sweet and tender and some are overwhelming. But you are in the center. So those are all around you. And in your center, in this glowing light, you are calm. Your energy is steady. Your breath is deep. Your boundaries are clear. No one enters your circle unless you invite them in. No one pulls you off of your center unless you allow them to. And no one gets to decide your peace except for you. So I want you to say to yourself quietly, I choose peace. I choose space. I choose myself. So I want you to come back, keep your eyes closed for a few more minutes. I want you to come back to this center with the glowing, golden, warm light around you every time you feel like you're being pulled in a million different things, different ways. So I want you to think about that everything else is outside your peaceful center. It'll help you make decisions. So for example, if you think of one chaotic, crazy party that's going to go on and you think that going there will completely change your peace, and you know that the worst thing that can happen is they'll just say, oh, she couldn't make it. Maybe then you don't do that. I want you to choose your peace, choose your space, choose yourself. So let's open our eyes. Now this time we're going to move to breath work. Sometimes we do breath work first, and sometimes we do meditation first. Depends on what we're doing. So now that you've understood, you've been sitting in this golden light, and you understand that peace, that centering, let's do a little bit of breath work. We're going to call this boundary breath. So the breath is called, it's 4-4-8. So it's really an emotional reset, and it's perfect for moments when you feel cornered or overwhelmed or pressured, right? And here's how it works. It really is very simple. You inhale through the nose for 4. And as you do that, I want you to imagine pulling energy into your center. So as you inhale, I want you to feel energy going into your core. And then I want you to hold it for 4. So you're anchoring yourself with that energy, right? And then as you exhale, you're releasing pressure, you're releasing guilt, you're releasing tension, and you're doing that for 8, a count of 8, okay? So you're going to do slowly, calm, steady, remember? So as we inhale, we're pulling the energy 1, 2, 3, 4, holding for 4, 3, 2, 1, exhaling for 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, holding 1, 2, 3, 4, exhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Remember this breath, okay? It's your secret boundary tool, right? It's your portable piece. So as you recognize you're inhaling and holding and then releasing, you can also imagine yourself surrounded by that golden light. And so this is kind of your portable piece. You can think about it as your little peace corner that's in your mind, and you can come to it at any time. So let's move gently to release that tight holiday tension, okay? So a little bit of movement, release and reset for your body. So whenever you're feeling tense, I want you to inhale and have your shoulders go up. So inhale, tight, and as you exhale, drop them heavily. You're releasing expectation. So inhaling, exhaling, drop. Do this as often as you want. You can do this for a full 2 minutes, but what you're going to find is you're dropping all those expectations. You're getting lighter each time you exhale and drop them heavily. It is important that you do it heavily. You don't just go, because it doesn't sink into your brain. What you want to do is inhale with your shoulders up. As you exhale, drop them quickly, heavy, so you know you're releasing those expectations, okay? Again, we're going to do side body stretch. We did these last week. So as you inhale, up and exhaling over, making space for yourself, stretching, making sure that you've expanded and that you're not holding tight. You can do side stretches as much as you want. I can't stress enough how important stretching is. So all of these things we do, keep going with the side stretches as I talk. All of these things we do are focused to make sure your body and your mind are in sync and they are releasing a lot of that holiday tension that you're holding. And then again, chest expansions. We want to open our arms wide and we want to imagine pulling back your energy from everyone who drains you, right? So pulling back, right? This is you're pulling back all the energy, you're taking it into yourself. So as you open, taking that energy and pulling it into yourself. It is really important, keep going, that you're focused on ensuring that you are protecting your energy. And the last two are the same as last week. So we wanted to forward fold. So imagining when we say forward fold, for those of you who do yoga or anything else, as we do forward fold, we're letting the guilt roll off your back. So as we fold forward, we're imagining the guilt releasing off of our back. We're letting it go. Anytime we're folding off, rolling things off of our shoulders, rolling things off of our back. And we always, in this 6-week sessions, we always stop with our seated stillness. So again, you want to put your hands on your heart and your belly, you can. You don't have to. But it is focused to sit still for 2 minutes. That's all I'm asking for. I want you to sit still for 2 minutes and breathe and feel your inner stability because you are allowing yourself 2 minutes. You know, it's interesting because I get a lot of DMs for you, and thank you. Please DM me as much as you want, preferably on either Instagram or YouTube. Can on TikTok. I'm doing it a little bit slower there. But please DM me and tell me some of the stuff you're doing and what's working for you, because I get a lot of DMs that say, you know, I tried, it doesn't work, but you know, I can't do 2 minutes of breath work. Can't sit still for 2 minutes. If you can't sit still for 2 minutes, that's a massive problem. And that's where you have to realize that you are overstimulated. And when you overstimulate, it creates all that havoc. So one of the ways that we try to get that overstimulation down is really by thinking about support snacks, right? Because when you're overstimulated, if you're stressed or you're emotionally flooded, what do? You reach for, generally you reach for like something sugary or something salty or something that You don't even think about, you're just like, if I can have something, I'll feel better. So what I want you to do is try like a holiday support snack. Okay. So it's none of that. So think about, again, proteins, nuts, cheese, yogurt, hummus, right? So if you are literally sitting and you're stressed, and thinking, I gotta grab that donut. No, try the other route. Try taking protein or try taking fat, which is good fats. I'm not telling you to go have anything else. I want you to have good fats, which is avocados, nuts, seeds, all great fats. And then if you're like me and you love crunch, because I love crunch, veggies and crackers dipped in hummus is my go-to. I love that because it satisfies my crunch. And I know it's healthy for me. So really, I want you to try to think of support snacks. It's not easy because it's really a lot easier to grab that cookie or grab that bag of chips. And don't get me wrong, I don't occasionally do that because I do. I still do that occasionally. But what I try to keep in mind is making sure that I'm supporting my system so that it stabilizes my blood sugar, it stabilizes my mood. Importantly for me, my cortisol level, right? And it really stabilizes your overstimulation. And you will see when you reach for some of those stability, those support snacks, you will feel totally different. So if you're walking into a stressful environment, I want you to eat some of these things before you get there, right? Before you see this table of, Christmas cookies. Have something good before you leave, even if it's just a little snack, because it will work to keep your cortisol down. Okay. So this week, your challenge is very simple. We're going to first, I want you to write a boundary sentence, right? So every morning, I want you to write something like, I am allowed to choose what feels good and say no to what doesn't. Doesn't that feel great just saying it? I am allowed to choose what feels good and say no to what doesn't. And once this week, I want you to practice a boundary phrase out loud, okay? So it might be, I won't be able to make it, but thank you. There you go. That wasn't that hard if you get an invitation. Or how about, I'm not available for that this year. Or that doesn't work for me right now. Or I can come, but I only have an hour. That's a great compromise, right? Or it might be, I'm not discussing that right now. If somebody starts a conversation that you're not comfortable with, because boundaries don't ruin relationships. They reveal which relationships can actually hold you, can sustain you, right? You are allowed to protect your peace. Okay. You're allowed to protect your peace. And I'm hoping that you take everything we've spoken about today to heart, because I am setting you up to have a fabulous year next year. Because the worst thing you can do is get through a horrible holiday and then go into the new year all bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. It doesn't work that way. So I want you to protect your peace through the holidays so that we can start a really great year next year. So thank you again for spending your morning with me, and I will see you next Sunday. And with that, our time together comes to a close. Thank you for showing up for yourself today. Take that feeling of this space with you and let it guide your actions and reactions this week. I'm Faye Chappell on behalf of everyone here at Elevated Living. I'm wishing you a week of profound peace and clarity.